up, everybody? I'm going to tell you guys a story that only a couple people know, and I swore I would never share it because it was too personal, too private. But if you notice, the world's changed a lot since the old cover your face and all that kind of stuff. It's changed a lot. You know it and I know it. There's something in the air that's just off a little bit. Check out Revelation 18:23, where it talks about pharmakia and how that's kind of what gets the ball rolling on the end times. I think we're living in those days now, and whether you're a believer or not, I think most people know something's in the air. Even non-believers know that something's up. You can just feel it. So here's a story that quite literally only my wife knows. My kids maybe a little bit. But here's the thing. About a year and a half ago, December 21st, I played Santa Claus and put on a fat suit, and I did a pretty good job from what I understand. It was for a community Christmas party. And the thing that most people didn't know at that Christmas party is I was in the middle of some serious spiritual warfare, and I really wasn't feeling all that great that night. I'd been working 90 hours a week out in a blizzard driving a fuel tanker, and it took all the strength I had that evening because my kids were there, my grandkids, I was playing Santa. You know, I wanted to do a good job. So I pushed aside how I was feeling, and that night I told my wife I thought I got indigestion in the meatballs really bad. I know I stopped breathing in the middle of the night, and I woke up and it felt like an elephant was sitting on my chest. My wife told me immediately that I needed to go to the doctors. Again, listen to your wife, guys. You're smarter than we give them credit for sometime. My wife begged me for, I don't even remember, 4 hours before I finally went to the hospital. But I woke up that morning, it was December 22nd, and I thought that I just had indigestion. I'm surprised I even made it to the hospital, because first we went to an urgent care place that didn't even have anybody at the desk. You know, I live at Perry Lake, and we went to Topeka, so that's a little bit of a drive. We kind of got sent away, and we ended up at St. Francis Hospital on the wrong side of the building. And we had to walk all the way through the building to get to the emergency room. And as soon as we got to the emergency room, walked in, all I remember was falling backwards as clothes were being ripped off of me. And then I heard somebody say that I was having a heart attack. So I remember falling back. I remember being taken into another room. And I looked up and I saw somebody, they had a cross around their neck. And I'll tell you guys, I'm not much into symbolism, and I don't wear a cross to tell people about my faith. I don't wear a cross to make a statement. I wear a cross now mainly because if I'm ever giving you CPR, I want it to be the last thing you see before you die, because that's what happened to me. It was the last thing I saw. At 1:59, all records on me stopped. The timeline stopped. I was clinically dead. And it's weird because it was only for a few minutes, 3-5 minutes maybe, not really sure, but it seemed like a long time to me. It was the most real place I had ever felt in my life. I went someplace, I was gone. Now I've heard all these afterlife stories and stuff, and people talking about all the stuff they saw and their loved ones and a doggy running up to them. No, nothing like that. I don't remember seeing or talking to anybody, but I knew I wasn't here. I was completely wrapped in God's glory. It's hard for me to even try and imagine it without becoming overwhelmed. It was the most beautiful place I'd ever seen, the most peaceful place I'd ever been to. I did not want to come back, but I felt something pulling me, and I wasn't sure what it was. Eventually I woke up in the ICU, and my wife was standing there, and I remember the sunlight or something coming through the window, and she just looked like she was covered in gold. It was the most beautiful my wife has ever looked. And the look she gave me, man, I'll tell you, it doesn't matter what we go through every day. All I got to do is remember that look on her face, and I know darn good and well that woman loves me. And when my kids came in and they saw me, I know that they love me. If ever there was a time in my life that that was reinforced, but to see my sister Retha, my brother Randy, a couple good pastor friends of mine, people that were coming up and they were seeing me and they were looking at me, and the look on their face, and yet I couldn't figure out what was wrong with everybody. I'll be honest, I was pretty doped up on morphine at this time. After I kind of came through, everything from that point was kind of a blur. And one of the reasons I've never wanted to talk about some of this stuff is I needed to kind of sort out those memories as to what was real and what was morphine induced. And since I've been back here to this place, Earth, whatever you want to call this mud ball, it seems less real than everything that I experienced after death. It seems like a matrix, like you can almost see the glitches and everything. And I was talking earlier about how just the whole universe seems kind of out of whack right now. Alpha Indigo, let's just say that for code word, because I don't trust anything anymore. It's taken over a lot of stuff, and you don't know if what you're seeing on YouTube or Facebook is even real anymore. Heck, you don't even know for sure that this is me really talking, or if it's just a voiceover. But I'll tell you what, folks, I was at the gates of heaven, and it is a very, very, very real place. And I've said it before, this is not a religious channel. This channel is about life, but part of life is death, and you're all going to die. And I'm sorry, when some of you guys want to debate me on God, and you come at me with evolution, and you want to tell me that you inherited your intelligence from a monkey, and you want to debate me, a creature of God. I was given my intelligence by a higher power. And no, it was not a UFO. It was not an alien spaceship that dropped me off and left me here, folks. That is stupid. You guys look back through history and all the stuff you see about the Greek gods and all these other mythologies and stuff, man. From what I can tell, they're fallen angels. They came to this planet umpteen years ago. Satan was cast down here. And if you read Genesis 6, man, it's the most eye-opening, fascinating chapter of the entire Bible, because it pretty much sums up the whole thing. And, I know Jesus was a real man. Because number one, he's the most famous person I've ever heard of. Everybody knows who Jesus was. And whether you believe he was a real man or not, there's more history books than just the Bible. I mean, Jesus was a real person. It is very well documented. And the fact is he was either the world's biggest lunatic. I mean, all he had to do was say that he wasn't God, and they would have let him go. How hard is that, right? And you see movies like The Passion of the Christ, and we even try to imagine the suffering that he went through. Who loves you that much? I don't know anybody that loves me enough to go through that. And all he had to do was say he wasn't God, and they would let him go. And then you look at everything going on in the world, and you look at Bible prophecy and how that all kind of lines up. Man, if you need evidence that there is a God and you're not him, you're blind. You're not paying attention, because we were given a manual. We were given a book. And that book is the only thing that has ever predicted the future. Some of you guys will follow Nostradamus, astrology, tarot cards, crystals. You believe in ghosts and spirits, but you don't believe in God. I mean, some of you guys, I love you, but seriously, man, you're going to be dead someday. And this is stuff you got to figure out while you're here. And I've come to the conclusion that the only reason I'm back here is because God sent me with a message. and that is that heaven is a real place. God is absolutely real. The devil is absolutely real. Hell is a real place, but the devil ain't running that stuff. No, no. No, the devil ain't in charge of hell. The devil's going there, folks. That place was made for him and his demons. And if you want to take that ride, you want to go with him, hey, you're a dumbass. I'm sorry, I'm just not a passive Christian. I'm going to tell you like it is, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. You want to sit and debate theology, you want to sit and debate anything that's going on in this world and how it relates to the Bible, let's go, man. Bring it on. If you can prove me wrong, more power to you. But there is a God, and I'll tell you what, I am not suicidal by any means, but I cannot wait for Jesus to return. I cannot wait for the rapture. I cannot wait to go home. I can't wait to get out of this matrix, this bodily flesh that just constantly is just, freaking hate it some days, man. I want to go home. I don't know about you all, but I want to go home. And the only thing is I want to take my family and my friends and the people I love with me. I want to take you with me. I want to take you guys home with me. So again, I'm trying really hard not to make this a religious channel, but the fact is my mama made it really clear. A relationship with Jesus Christ is not a religion. There is nothing religious about a relationship with your parents, is there? There's nothing religious about a relationship with your grandparents, is there? Why should anything be religious about a relationship with God? You worship him in the same way you honor your father and your mother, and you love them and you adore them. You know, Abba, Father. When I talk to God, I am talking to my dad. He made everything. He made all of this. He created me. He created you. And if you think you're monkey spunk, you know, the last thing I'm going to say is I feel sorry for you. To go your whole life believing that you were an accident, that you came from monkey spunk, a big bang, just happenstance, that you're here just by accident, that basically you're worthless and life is worthless and there's no point in being here. That is just the most depressing thing I've ever heard in my life. And so I'm going to tell you, folks, I died. I got the evidence that a lot of people need. I wish every one of you could have a near-death experience. I wish every one of you could have something in your lives that will wake you up to the reality that this world is about way more than what it just seems on the surface. You have a purpose. You were not made to be a wandering generality, and you were not made to go through life helpless. That if you know Jesus, when you die, we're all going to be together like one big happy family. If you haven't accepted Jesus Christ as your Savior, well, I'm not going to see you at that family reunion. And I just want to say how much I love you and how much I'm going to miss you and how I don't envy you the pain and torture you're going to go through for eternity simply because you waited until it was too late to believe. I sure hope the weather gets better, and I sure hope I can get out and do some fun stuff because we need it. We need beautiful days like this. And yeah, I know I went on a little bit of a tangent today, but folks, I told you, man, I'm going to get these hard videos out of the way. This channel is called Life the Hard Way. If you think I was going to get on here and sugarcoat a bunch of crap, man, you don't know me very well. So anyway, folks, until next time, I love you. God bless you. And thank you, Lord.